Tēnā tātou e kare, no mai haere mai ki After Bedtime Yoga. Welcome to your After Bedtime Yoga practice. My name is Jamie and I will be guiding you. For your practice this evening, as always in our After Bedtime Yoga classes, I encourage you to grab whatever household items you think that will support you in your practice. This evening I have a pillow and 2 blankets and of course my moinga, my bed. If you want to do the entire practice in your bed, it provides you with that softer cushion underneath you. Otherwise, just finding a space on the ground next to your bed. For this evening's practice, we are class 2 of our Starting Anew series, and tonight's class is all about dropping back in with yourself. We are going to focus in around the hips to find that moment before bed. To start your practice this evening, we are going to find ourselves in a reclined position laying down. I am going to use my pillow under my head, but it's completely up to you. Kea koe te tikanga. Set yourself up however you are comfortable. So gently begin to make your way there now. Adjusting yourself and your space. Where feels nourishing for you in this moment. Arrive there slowly. And when you do arrive, maybe wiggle the fingers, the toes, a little roll out through the wrists, maybe a big yawn, and letting that go. Feel yourself settle into your body in this moment. Settle into the mind as it has arrived. And gently settle into your energy, your prana, your wairua, your spirit. And simply allow yourself to sit in that for a few minutes. What stories are they all telling you? What is the narrative about the type of day you have had, the week, the month or the year? Take this time to land in. And while you are here landing in, I will begin with karakia. Nei te ni, nei te nā, nei te aro ki te hao te tangata. Ara takina te ara ki runga, ki raro, ki roto, ki waho. Haumie huie, tai ki e. Here we are to focus on our own inner light, the essence of breath within us, and may that guide us in our practice this evening. Land fully into the breath. We worked last week to clear space before we begin to take those steps towards the new, the fresh. It's really important to stop and notice where we are. Notice who we are in this moment. And we'll start with the breath. If they aren't already there, bring one or both hands onto your puku, onto your belly. Inhale, feel the filling up. Exhale, feel your belly button gently drop back towards the spine and the hands fall down with it. Inhale, expansion. Exhale, contraction. Keep moving through that. Really important to let your puku be soft, to let it rise up and fall back down. Quite often we are walking around and we are bracing through our belly, and when we do that, it means that the diaphragm isn't moving the way it should, and then in turn the pelvic floor is not moving through that full range of softness, and both of those things can impact our nervous system. So really important here to let the belly go, to feel like it is soft, you're letting it hang out and simply move with breath. One more, just like that. Kia kotahi anō te aha. Gently move your hands now to either side of the rib cage. If it feels too much for the arms to stay on their relative side, you can always cross the hands across the body and hug around the rib cage. As you inhale here now, feel that mobility in the rib cage as it flares and gently presses into the hands as you inhale. And then as you exhale, feel the rib cage close down, falling back together. Moving through that again. Inhale, rib cage widens and lifts. Feel yourself broadening across the back. Exhale, it softens back down. Keep moving with this now. Big breaths in and out. Find your pace, your rhythm. This first little step of dropping back in, of removing the distractions around you, so you can intentionally check in with yourself. Two more breaths exactly like that. Kia rua anō ngā hā. After your exhale, bring one or both hands onto your chest. As you inhale, feel the chest softly lift up towards the ceiling. And exhale, feeling it slowly ripple and fall back down. Move through that again. Keep the shoulders nice and soft here. In fact, Gently wiggle them a little further away from your ears. Feel the chest moving up and down, not the shoulders moving towards the ears. Try to keep the neck nice and long and keep breathing just like that. Nothing else required except the softness of breath. Last one. Haki roto. Haki waho. Hands can fall now wherever feels comfortable for you. And we are going to link all three parts of the breath to form this wave-like breathing, feeling it move up and down the body, trying to create this complete fullness and then a complete emptying. And we will also invite a gentle pause at the bottom and the top of the breath. Beginning to move through that now. Inhale, belly lifts, rib cage flares and widens, chest rises. And then that wave is pulling back down, chest falls as you exhale. Rib cage closes down, belly draws back in towards spine. Moving through that again, inhale, belly, rib cage, chest, gentle pause at the top. Exhale, chest, rib cage, belly, a gentle pause at the bottom. And keep flowing with that now. Let the breath be fluid. Let it be like these continuous waves rolling in and then rolling out. And feel into that little pause at the bottom of the breath, the moment after you have cleared space, the moment before you invite the new. That's where we are in our practice today. That little moment of landing and stillness before we decide which direction we are going in, which step we are going to take, and which path we are going to begin to walk along. Breath in, open the mouth, sigh it out. Beautiful job. From here, you are gently going to bend the knees a little deeper, maybe rising up onto the tippy toes if you can, grabbing in behind your hamstrings, or maybe pulling the knees a little closer in towards the chest. Take a little moment to rock out through your lower back, maybe circling the legs in one direction. Even if you haven't caught the legs, you can move through this, just finding these gentle knee circles or knee rocks. Then land both feet back down to earth, and we'll move through a few pelvic tilts. As you inhale, feel this nice neutral spine, this little space between the lower back and the ground. And then as you exhale, flatten the lower back into earth, feel the pubic bone lift up. Good, and then rock back through center as you inhale. Exhale, flattening the lower back, that little lift of the tailbone. Keep moving through that, finding your pace. That is what this class is all about. Dropping back in to find what actually works for you. To notice where your body is at. To pay attention to what your hinengaro, your mind, or your wairua, your spirit need from you in this moment. And giving that to yourself. Give yourself the same kindness, the same compassion that you would for others. And either continuing with a few more little rocks, if when the lower back flattens into earth and the tailbone lifts, you want to slightly lift the hips up off the earth into this little baby bridge. I invite you to move there and then roll the spine back down, refinding neutral. Last few breaths here. Just noticing what your body needs, where it wants to go. Very slowly making your way all the way back to laying down on your back. Softly roll over onto your side. Whichever side feels good here, it doesn't matter. Pull the knees a little further up towards the chest. And take a moment again in the pause. It's in these little pauses that whatever is going on in the body, the mind becomes a little louder, becomes loud enough for us to hear and truly listen. Very now. Make your way up into a seat. And we will do a little more soft mobility in through the hips. Bringing your hands in behind you, bring the feet out nice and wide with the legs bent. And simply begin to oscillate the legs side to side like window wipers. No force or pressure as you move through this. Just go to where the body wants to go. Let the hips roll with you. No force. Just soft movement. Keep the breath slow. We'll go one more each side. Come back to starting, and then this time when you go through to the other side, you're going to go all the way over. Bring the hands up from behind you, and we're going to angle the hands in front of us. If the ground feels really far away, you can use your bed. You can wiggle a little closer and bring the hands onto a bed to support you, or you may have your pillow, your blanket that can lift the ground up a little bit. If this feels like a lot of pressure through the hips, firstly, pull the heels in a little more. That takes away some of the requirement of the hips. If that doesn't work for you, You can take your blanket or your bolster and bring it underneath the hips to find a little more lift off the ground. We'll come through a few spinal waves here. So hands come down into earth or into the bed, and just begin to gently rock forward with the hips, roll the spine down, and then rounding the spine to roll it all the way back up to the top. Chin untucks last. And that is all we're doing. We're finding that little flow through the spine. Close your eyes as you move through it, up and down. And for you today, it may be a tuck of the chin and then a lift of the chin. If that feels nourishing for you, stay there doing that. There is no end goal here. The goal isn't to get deeper, to get your chest closer to the ground. Movement itself, dropping into your body, is actually the end goal. Going through one more of those. When you arrive back at the top, gently change the angle of your body so the hands are walking to frame the front foot. It may be keeping the hands on the bed if you are using the bed, maybe moving a little closer and the hands simply come across a little more to the side. And then we go again with our gentle waves up and down, the slight change in angle, and these movements in the spine helping softly mobilize in through the hips. Last one, just like that. And then change the angle one more time. This time, hands walk over towards the knee. Again, either using the bed or using the ground. Closing the eyes, e moe whatu, and drop into the flow. Try to take the slowest breaths you've taken all day and let the movement match those breaths. We're not in a rush. We have nowhere else to be in this moment, so can you be here wholly and completely, present in your body, present in your mind. Hoki atu ki tō ake kāinga. Come back home to yourself. One more up and down. And then rising up, we are going to keep the legs here and find a folded position for a longer hold. This is where your beds, your pillows, your blankets may come in handy. You can prop yourself up by bringing the props maybe to lay across the front leg, maybe in front of the front leg. Maybe you're pulling your blanket in like a little jelly bean and then rolling yourself over it, and that feels supportive. So kei a koe te tikanga, we're just trying to find gentle sensation, gentle exploration through that front hip. The angle as well is up to you. We've explored towards the foot, over the shin, and towards the knee. So choose the place that feels good. You might come to fold one way and then slightly shift across and then slightly shifting across again, becoming a little bit curious before you settle. It's your practice. So move how and as you need to. But making your way into a nice little fold now. If you're using the bed, it may be positioning yourself just far enough away so that the forehead can rest down and you can feel supported, or the arms rest onto the bed as well. And you're just finding this little lean forward of the hips. Find a settling. Tucking the chin, maybe resting the head into the hands. But most importantly, me whai ha. Make sure your breath is the focus. This long in and out. Our breath is always the first indicator if our body is in a position that is not serving it, that it doesn't want to be in, because it comes back to being short, sharp, or shallow. If you notice that happening, try to come back to deep breaths. If you can't in the position you are in, lift out of it slightly, modify, add more props so you can be in a position where you are breathing deeply to settle the nervous system. Where can you let go in this moment in the physical body? Unclenching the jaw, maybe wiggling the fingers and allowing them to be soft along with the palms of the hands. Is it sinking the hips so the ground beneath you is what is holding you and carrying you in this moment? Find one place where you can soften your physical body a little more. Kia ngāwari. Maybe you feel your body begin to soften a little more with each exhale. If your body does begin to invite you to move deeper and you want to accept that invitation, allow yourself to soften into it a little more, maybe sink down. Find a little more space, a little more breath. Three final breaths here in the posture. Kia toru anō ngā hao. slow and soft, full and deep. At the end of your next exhale, if you are folded down deeply, rise back up onto your hands. If your hands are on the bed, bring yourself back and upright. Slowly remove any props. Bring the hands back behind you and slowly window wipe the legs side to side, adding a little movement back, especially into that front hip and knee joint. Come to center, bring your legs together and straighten them out. This little moment, the pause where we have space to land, to notice how is the left side of my body feeling, how is the right side of my body feeling. Has my state of being changed at all after having done the deer posture on one side? Beautiful. From here, bring the hands back behind you, bending the knees, bringing the feet wide, taking another little window wipe of the legs side to side. And now let the legs fall all the way over to the opposite side, to the side that you've just done. If you want to turn back around to face your bed, especially if you were using it for support, going and doing that now. Bringing any props you need with you, and we will come through the spinal waves, remembering if you're feeling a little locked up through the hip. I know I definitely am on the back hip, so I'm going to bring the heel in a little closer, front and back, and that has brought a little more ease to the posture for me. So again, if you want to bring cushions, your blankets underneath your seat to elevate you, that is going to alleviate some of the pressure through the hips as well. Hands planting onto earth, onto props, onto bed, and begin the spinal waves up and down. Your chin is the last thing to untuck, and then as you roll down, it's a roll forward of the hips, the belly button rolls forward. This gentle folding down with no force, no pressure, no expectations of where you want your body to go. And just notice too, when you let go of those expectations, how much softer the movement becomes, how much more settled you feel as you are moving in this, simply for exploration, not for depth, not for an outcome. After your next spinal roll, gently walking over towards the foot, and then beginning again, finding that soft mobilization of the hip joint by changing the position of the spine, using the hands to support you however you need here. Closing down the eyes, keep finding the movement. Gently walking over towards the knee, and then doing those same spinal rolls, feeling the energy move all the way down from the connection of the sit bone to the crown of the head. Take one more. Making your way back up and preparing for our longer held deeper fold. Propping yourself up as you need to, making your way into it. And remembering that both sides of your body are innately different, so you may need a little more or a little less padding on this side. Feeling the fullness of your breath in this moment. And settling yourself, letting the hips be heavy. Jaw is soft. Simply be here and breathe. Me whai ha. Stripping away everything else. Can you drop a little deeper into your own internal world, cultivating and creating safe pockets of space within yourself that you can always come back to. Maybe settling in a little deeper if the body is inviting you to do so. Notice the breath, always your first indication of how the body is feeling, how the mind is feeling in this moment. If the breath becomes short, sharp or shallow, gently modify, ease out a little bit. That is your body indicating you may have moved a little deeper than it is ready to go in this moment. Fully in, Let it go. Like you're moving through honey. Slowly make your way back up. Moving out any props. Bringing the hands in behind the back and once again gently window wiping side to side. Bring the legs back together. Whakapiri here, or waiwai, long and straight. Just taking this little moment. And blinking open the eyes. Moving into a reclined butterfly, now using your pillow and a blanket. The pillow is going to go long ways in behind the spine. If you have a second pillow, you may want to make a letter T shape here so the head and neck have a little more support. Taking one of your blankets and unwinding it. So we have a nice long edge here, and then begin to roll it up into this beautiful long supportive cylinder. Bringing the feet together and knees together to begin. Place the cylinder on top of the ankles and then wrap it in and around the blanket. Will feel firm. From here, try to hold the blanket in as the knees drop out wide. This should have created a nice stable shelf just above the ankle bone, coming around into the side of the shin and into the calf. You should feel supported here through the hips with a sledge. If that isn't quite feeling enough for you, taking a few extra cushions, a few extra blankets, and padding in these gaps between the knee and the ground. Hands come in behind you and gently lowering yourself down and back onto your pillow. Settling down here with a lifted chest, a lifted belly. Hands can fall wherever feel good for you in this moment. Shoulders are away from the ears. And begin to invite that wave breath back in. Inhale, belly, ribcage, chest, pausing at the top. And then exhale, chest, ribcage, belly, pausing in the bottom. Keep flowing through that, wave after wave of breath, dropping you back to self. Finding your rhythm, the steadiness, one breath after the next. That is all that is required of you. Soften through the hips. Back of pelvis is heavy, sinking and softening, melting towards earth beneath you. 3 more wave breaths, the slowest, deepest breaths you've taken all day. At the end of your next breath, gently closing the knees back together using the hands to assist, rolling all the way over onto your side. Draw the knees up towards the chest, round yourself in. Breathe into the back body. Allow the front body to close back off. From here, making your way into your Savasana, your final resting posture for your practice this evening. If you are moving to your moinga, your bed, for the remaining practice, going there now. Otherwise, if you're on the floor, making yourself comfortable using your pillows, maybe unwinding your blankets and using them to make yourself a little bit more cozy and find that extra warmth. When you arrive into your space, wiggle the shoulders down away from the ears. E moio whatu, closing the eyes, letting them fall deep into the head. Soft cheekbones, soft jaw. And feel this ripple of softness cascade all the way down the arms, the spine, the legs. As you drop a little heavier, you feel all of the places where your body is supported by Earth Mother beneath you. Ia papatua nuku I raru I a koe. Feel the waves of breath with each exhale, bringing a little more softness, a little more release as the last remaining pieces of tension begin to dissipate from your body. With each breath now, imagine you are walking down a staircase to softness, to letting go, to melting and dropping in. Inhale as you stand on the step. Exhale, stepping down. The body feels a little heavier as you release a little more. Inhale on the step. Exhale, heaviness, softness. Keep moving down the staircase. Feel your body melt a little deeper with each exhale you take. Find yourself arriving now at the bottom of the staircase in the gentlest, softest version of you. With stresses and tension stripped away, with materiality stripped away. In this moment, as you've dropped into the depths of self, ask yourself the pātai, the question, ko waiho, who am I? Who is this soft, authentic version of self? What do they look like? What have they been able to leave behind? Who is this version of you in this moment? Ko wai tēnei tangata. You've cleared space. You've dropped into your own authenticity. Now it's time to look around. Where is your next step calling you to go? Staying in that imagery or allowing yourself to release it as you come back to the breath and feel yourself slowly drifting deeper and deeper, eventually finding your rest for the evening. This is where I will leave you. Mai tōku manawa ki tōu manawa. From my heart to yours, e tāne ka whakairihia, haumie huie, tai kie. Thank you for allowing me to guide you in your after bedtime yoga. It has been my honour. Kia o te moe. Have a beautiful sleep. Namaste.